Now, are you an active member in the Catholic Church?
Yes.
So you're aware that murder is considered a mortal sin?
Counsel, could I see you over here?
Effectively and continuously applied, like in a lateral vascular neck restraint, most times there's a struggle going on, so you can't quite get that. So in that case there, you didn't testify that it was 5 to 10 seconds. You testified that it was 10 to 20 seconds, and that if there's any struggling, it could be longer, correct?
Yes, but that case was...
Well, that was a yes or no question.
It's not a yes or no question. All right.
Defense can follow up. You have memory of your medical knowledge, correct?
Sure, I have memory of my medical knowledge.
That was just a clip of Law & Order Special Bow Units, episode 15. I genuinely don't know what would lead an attorney to treat witnesses this nasty, but you know, you do you. The first witness of day 15 was Sue Clancy, that is Patrick's mom. She shared that she and Lindsay stayed in communication. Lindsay had shared with her multiple times that she was really struggling with the meds that she was taking. She was depressed, and they went to church. She was hoping church would help her, make her feel better. And even to a point where when she went to the hospital, Sue was a labor and delivery nurse, so she went downstairs and spent some time with her. Again, everyone was hopeful that Lindsay was going to get better. The next witness is Dr. Donald Conde, who's a clinical and forensic psychologist. He has about 3,279 years of experience. He reviewed all of the medical records. He shares that her postpartum began in fall of 2022. She was going to go back to work, and apparently that is when she started experiencing postpartum anxiety. He starts talking about the psychiatrist, Dr. Tufts, shares that she started going with her, meeting her from mid-September to January of 2023, and that all the meetings were via TV, just like Reddington says. That really it was just checking boxes. There weren't a lot of notes, so it lacked a lot of detail and history. He goes on to say that she was prescribed Zoloft. We know it took her a little bit to take the medication because she was concerned about breastfeeding, but eventually started taking it, and they increased it to 50 milligrams. She had insomnia for about 48 hours, jitteriness, worsening anxiety, numbness, mental fog. She was crying all day. She had racing thoughts and paranoia, did not feel like herself. He goes on to share that while antidepressants can take weeks to work, the side effects can be immediately. And that between November and December, she reported dizziness, sedation, feeling worse, anxiety, depressed, inability to get out of bed, shower, inability to feel like herself and really do anything. And in late November, she decides to go to South Shore. She visits Julie, and Julie documents disassociated and not in touch with reality. He goes on to state that disassociation can be a symptom of psychosis, and in fact, it is common in postpartum psychosis. She was given more meds. He then explains that SSRIs really can affect someone that is dealing with postpartum, specifically with hormonal shifts. That Lindsay's symptoms, insomnia, inability to connect with the baby, emotional numbness, intrusive thoughts, were all consistent with postpartum depression that in fact could progress to psychosis. He did criticize that neither the doctor nor the nurse practitioner ordered any type of blood test, which is crucial to postpartum. He then goes on to share that bipolar depression can be severe and suicidal. And even though the nurse practitioner considered her bipolar, well, she went ahead and prescribed her Seroquel. Lindsay said that the Seroquel made her feel like she was in space, hungover, but they then increased the dosage. He then emphasizes that her symptoms were real, persistent, and clinically significant. He tells the defense, when they of course started asking questions, that women can minimize. Now, of course, then as the defense turns to ask questions, and they pretty much saying how Lindsay didn't tell nobody, she was hearing voices, all of these things, he shares that women can minimize or hide symptoms like hallucinations for fear that their kids could be taken away, or that, for example, her nursing license could be jeopardized. And in turn, that leads into postpartum depression being underreported. He then goes on to share that SSRIs given to someone who is possibly bipolar must be done cautiously and must be given alongside a mood stabilizer, because otherwise it can worsen manic symptoms. The next witness is Dr. Elizabeth La Posada, forensic pathologist, another one that has like 2,500 years of experience. She actually breaks down Lindsay's injuries and answers a lot of our questions. First and foremost, she shares that she was contacted by the defense to review Lindsay's case, as well as all of the evidence, medical records, evidence from the police, pictures, everything. She shares that Callan's autopsy originally stated that he had bruises on the head. However, it in fact was due to the EEG monitoring equipment. Then she goes over Lindsay's. She states that Lindsay had sharp wounds to both her wrist and her neck, consistent with an attempt of someone trying to take their life. She shares this picture, specifies that Lindsay went out the second floor window, placing her palms on the sill and falling head first to the ground like someone diving into a pool and hitting the bottom. She also shares that the fall also damaged her thyroid gland, the cartilage that protects that thyroid gland. Lastly, she talks about her position on the frozen ground. She was lying in indoor clothing. She was wet in temperatures around 30 degrees with no sun. Also, the disrupted ability to regulate her temperature due to the spinal cord injury, which is why she states that her temperature dropped so rapidly. We know that the state then started asking questions about her fall, and this forensic pathologist sticks to what she reviewed. In the next video, I'm going to go over Dr. Seisel's testimony, which was the final witness of the day. And Dr. Seisel was the forensic psychologist that saw her days after all of this transpired, thanks to Reddington, and is the one that from day one, when he would do press conferences or even speak about his client, he made it clear that she was suffering from psychosis, and that is the reason why she took the lives of her 3 children. Talk to you soon.